Good afternoon, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, members of the 141st and 92nd Air Refueling Wings, 242 Combat Communications Squadron, and the 256th Intel Squadron. On behalf of Colonel Chuck Riley, I would like to welcome you to the retirement ceremony honoring Chief Master Sergeant Jim Schrader. I am Chief Master Sergeant Monty Burnett, and it is my privilege to be your Master of Ceremonies for today's special event. The retirement ceremony is the final pinnacle of a distinguished career and service to the United States and is one of the oldest traditions of military service. Your presence here today not only manifests your appreciation for Chief Schrader's dedication to duty, but also reflects your sincere desire for a gratifying, rewarding future for him and his family. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the entrance of the official parties and remain standing for the singing of our national anthem by Lieutenant Colonel Shannon Yellow and invocation by Colonel Mark Scott. As a reminder, for those of you in civilian attire, it is customary to place your right hand over your heart during our national anthem.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, we gather here today to celebrate the long and distinguished career of your servant, Jim Schrader. Please bless our time together as we pay tribute to all Jim has accomplished in his service to his great country. His many years of uniform service have always relied on your wisdom, guidance, grace, and forgiveness. I ask that you continue to help him and his wife Jill navigate this next chapter of his life as they find more time to focus on family, friends, and each other. Please be with them always. Thank you, Lord, for your love and grace. Amen.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Yellen, for that beautiful rendition of our national anthem, and Colonel Scott for your inspiring words. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our distinguished guests in attendance today. Please hold your applause until I've recognized everyone. Our presiding official, the commander of 141st Mission Support Group, Colonel Chuck Riley. Chief Schrader's wife, Jill. His son, Jacob, and girlfriend, Jessica, and granddaughter, Emberly. Chief's daughter, Maggie, her fiance, Adam, and grandson, Eli. His daughter, Brittany. Chief's son, Dan, his wife, Christy, and grandchildren, Shaylin and Ryder. Chief Schrader's brother, Major Terry Schrader, U.S. Air Force retired, and his wife, Heidi. Chief's sister, Kitty Allen. His father-in-law, Dale Allred. His brother-in-law, Mark Allred. Chief's sister-in-law, Mimi Allred. His nephew, Josh Allred, wife, Carrie, and their son, Solo. Also joining on live stream is Chief Schrader's mother, Sherry Schrader, and his grandmother, Evelyn Anderson, another family that couldn't be here. Chief Schrader would also like to extend a special welcome to the commander of the 141st Air Refueling Wing, Colonel James McGovern, the vice commander of the 141st Air Refueling Wing, Colonel Angela O'Connell, the command chief of the 141st Air Refueling Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Ed Cole, the commander of the 141st Maintenance Group, Colonel Mark Scott, and the commander of the 141st Medical Group, Colonel Ronald McNamara. Welcome also to all deputy group and squadron commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, members of Team Fairchild, and especially the members, retirees, and friends of the 141st and 92nd Logistics Training Squadrons. Thank you all for being with us today to honor the remarkable career of Chief Schrader. To address the career of Chief Schrader is his son, Technical Sergeant Jacob Schrader.
Thanks everyone for attending. This is going to be a great privilege and honor of mine. For those of you that don't know, my dad came from, or Chief Schrader came from, he came from White Sulphur Springs, Montana, which is some might call a two-horse town. Okay, on October 12th, 1983. Young Airman Basic Schrader was standing at the airport in Helena, Montana, probably because White Sulphur Springs didn't have an airport, getting ready to board an airplane for the first time in his life. The airplane was taking him to Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas for basic military training. But his real destination was unknown at this point. 6 weeks later, upon graduation from boot camp, Airman First Class Schrader was on his way to Aberdeen Proving Grounds in Maryland for technical training with the Army. Very exciting, in what the Air Force called allied trades, more commonly known in the civilian world as auto body repair. He succeeded in passing the course only to return to San Antonio to begin his first duty assignment at a combat communications unit with the 6948th Electronic Security Squadron at Kelly Air Force Base. After a bit more than a year in San Antonio working on and painting camouflage on military series vehicles, he received orders for a 3-year tour to Zweibrücken Air Base, West Germany, where he supported RF-4Cs of the 26th Tactical Reconnaissance Wing in the United States Air Force's in Europe commands, 1st C-23A Sherpa unit, flying a daily European distribution system. At that time, in the mid-1980s, the Cold War was in full swing, and Germany was still divided between East and West. Airman Schrader, quickly learned the art of the week-long base-wide contingency exercise. However, it would not be long before the fall of the Berlin Wall and the reunification of Germany, eventually easing the robust exercise schedule. Airman Schrader would soon be joined in Germany by his brother, now Major Terry, who was stationed at Tempelhof Air Base in Berlin. Despite Berlin being located within East Germany, complicating logistics, they were able to work in a couple of visits. Airman Schrader loved to travel to Bavaria and Austria for skiing adventures during his time in Germany, and of course, learned the great value of German beer. Airman Schrader was promoted to senior airman and then buck sergeant before leaving Germany. Sergeant Schrader's daughter, Brittany, was welcomed into this world at Landstuhl Medical Center in Ramstein. At the end of his Germany tour, Sergeant Schrader received orders to Tyndall Air Force Base in Panama City. After he finally determined that there was a Panama City in Florida and that he was not going to South America, he packed his bags and departed beloved Germany for Florida in support of the Tactical Air Command's F-15 mission. Sergeant Schrader spent a couple of years in the Florida Panhandle where his daughter Maggie was born, and he learned how the white sand beaches can reflect the sun and burn the heck out of you in a very short time. Lots of things like snakes, gators, hurricanes, and many other things can hurt you there as well. If you guys don't know, my dad is very safety conscious. After surviving all that hardship, Staff Sergeant Schrader's next adventure came as the Gulf War was ramping up. He volunteered to deploy to the buildup, but was told that there was not a chance of getting out of his orders to a remote location in Alaska known as Chimya. It said, when you are on an island 2 miles wide by 4 miles long, at the tip of the Aleutian chain, only 300 miles from Russia, that it's not the end of the earth, but you can definitely see it from there. It doesn't get any more remote than that. It wasn't as cold as mainland Alaska, but the wind was brutal. One night, while in his 3rd floor dorm room, he had to remove the pictures and anything else attached to the walls, thinking that they might not survive the shaking of the building. The next morning, it was reported that the winds had reached 115 miles per hour. I don't know about you, but I'd take Florida winds on the beach over Alaskan winds on an island. After enduring a year on the rock, as it's called, Staff Sergeant Schrader returned to his family. Brittany and Maggie did not know who he was when he stepped off the plane after a year, and they hid behind their mother. No Skype or FaceTime was available back then, only phone calls. Not the welcome that he was expecting, but he soon had them in his arms. His next destination, Key Sawyer in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, supporting the Strategic Air Command B-52 bombers. Lake effect snow is a real thing. He moved his family into the base housing without a speck of snow on the ground, waking up to literally 3 feet of snow the next morning. It's the only base he's been that allows you to ride snowmobiles to work. I think if you were stationed in Montana, they might. He made it through the winter only to receive news that the Air Force was overmanned in his career field and that he would have to either cross-train, take another remote assignment, or separate with severance pay. Nothing on the available career choices looked inviting, and having just returned from a remote assignment, Staff Sergeant Schrader decided to take the money and separate the United States Air Force. Fast forward 4 years, after a break in military service, during which time I was born, Staff Sergeant Schrader heard about this thing called the Air National Guard, where he could continue his military career. Having missed working with the quality of people and family in the family environment that the Air Force offered, he decided to give it a try and join vehicle maintenance of the 141st Transportation Squadron, Washington Air National Guard, supporting the KC-135 tanker mission. Transporting along with fuels, supply, and log plans, he would soon be absorbed into one squadron, becoming the Logistics Readiness Squadron that we all love today. After 4 years as a traditional guardsman, and eventful July 2000 came. Staff Sergeant Schrader married his beautiful, loving wife, Jill, adding Dan, Keith, and Nick to his family. And he was selected for a full-time position with the 141st, beginning a civil service career. Staff Sergeant Schrader spent the majority of his Air National Guard career in vehicle maintenance, making his way up to Master Sergeant. In 2009, he was selected to the Fuels Superintendent position, where he was promoted to Senior Master Sergeant. Then, 4 years later, returned to vehicle maintenance as the Fleet Manager and Superintendent, promoting to Chief. After only 2 years back in vehicle maintenance, Chief was selected to serve as the Logistical Readiness Squadron's Operations and Compliance Superintendent and Senior Enlisted Leader. Chief Schrader's career is sunsetting with 35 years of proud military service to the United States and to the state of Washington. Dad, thank you for all your service. 35 years is a long time. This has been a long time coming. Thanks. Jake, can you get rid of your notes? Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Sergeant Schrader. For remarks honoring the career of Chief Schrader is today's presiding official, Colonel Chuck Riley.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Last ceremony. Hang in there. I always start with the family, so the Schrader family and friends, thank you so much for everything you have done to support Jim through those 35 plus years of service. I suspect I don't have to tell anybody what that means because I've had the honor of serving both with Jim and Jake. And also we have Major Schrader here with many years of service in the United States Air Force. So thank you to all of you. Because it is the Air National Guard and we will shamelessly recruit in any forum, I'm looking out at Major Schrader. He has the coveted cyber operations badge, so Lieutenant Colonel Yellen has some recruiting pamphlets for you.
Hey, if you just be in Washington.
Well, they. Jill, I just want to add, I've gotten to know you a little better than some over the years, and it's been a pleasure just getting to know you and everything you've done as well to support Jim. So thank you so much. I wanted to add a separate thanks to that, but congratulations to you too. This is a big deal for you as well. So, break of service or not, retiring as a Chief Master Sergeant with as many years as Jim Schrader is a big deal, folks. All right, we got full bird colonels up here talking and praying. We've got Lieutenant Colonel Yellen out of semi-retirement from singing to sing the anthem. We've got senior master sergeants proffering and escorting. I mean, it's a big deal, right? So we don't want that to be lost on anyone. And I want to point out the Chief is very proud of his German heritage. We even practiced the ceremony in German lederhosen. I'm gonna let that image break into your minds a little bit. And we opted not to go along with the ceremony. It turns out all the straps and so forth, medals, it's just a mess. So, I know, it's too bad we couldn't have done that, Jim. It is a tremendous honor to represent the Washington Air National Guard and the 141st Air Refueling Wing to honor Chief Master Sergeant Jim Schrader. Here in a few moments, you're going to hear Chief Burnett describe Chief Schrader's mission first, people always bigger. I think many of us in here know what it's like to be on the business end of what's described here. So I'm going to rip off a scab here for a little bit. Chief is almost fanatically passionate about customer service that's provided, especially in his logistics readiness squadron. Even during his own ceremony right now, with 3 to 4 weeks of active retirement living under your belt, any knowledge that there might be anywhere the LRS not open for business right now might set him into a fit of rage. If anything's closed, don't tell him. Tech Sergeant Schrader, Jake, you did an awesome job recounting your dad's career. I'm not going to repeat any of that. It is really cool. It's like a guard circle of life. I've got to serve with both of you, but I'm not going to add any of that. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time now, just briefly, talking about the kind of airman that Jim has been. From my perspective, great leaders, most great leaders separate themselves by their willingness to become uncomfortable. And I'm going to share a moment where Jim made himself uncomfortable in his own career, and I actually think it was one of the key moments of our wing's recent history when I think about it. We're all thankfully serving in a time right now in our wing where we're coming together more as a family than I've ever personally seen. We're trying to revitalize and renew our Guard family, which has been spoken about repeatedly, very eloquently today. And from the heart everywhere. It's very motivating. Many airmen have moved back to our campus. Many of you have. All the while, our partnership with our 92nd friends continues, and actually a whole bunch of them are in the audience. Thank you for being here, folks. It's a pretty amazing time, but many of us can also remember a much tougher time than that, okay? And amid this, Jim was in vehicle maintenance, as was described. He had more than mastered his profession. He was at the top of that. And I think he was probably pretty comfortable coming to work every day, right? One of my predecessors, one of Colonel Ritchie, Colonel Scott's predecessors in the LRS, Colonel Dave Dixon, I don't know if he conned you into it, whatever, but he asked you to go take over the fuels management flight during that time. And it was a tough spot to be in. He was out of his comfort zone, and I've heard him talk about it quite a bit. He was thankfully willing to do this and become uncomfortable. He accepted the challenge, he cross-trains, he goes into fuels management, and in my judgment, when I reflect on it, this was the very start of what successful total force association might look like, in my opinion, just the more I think about it. So sure, Jim showed what it looked like to work together with the active duty, but more importantly than that, with him and his team in fuels, they started showing what would happen when the Guard had ownership over something and what that could do for our airmen and for our mission. And it went on, it flourished all over the squadron, in my opinion, everywhere in the LRS. And I think as a result, many people have come out of LRS. LRS has been a leadership lab for incredible leaders in our wing. And I don't think it's a mistake. And when I think about it, that started with your leadership, in my opinion. That's a big statement, but I think I'm right about that. When our wing needed an indispensable example of what right looked like, either in the association, but even more importantly than that, just executing the mission while taking care of airmen, more often than not, in those tough years, it was LRS that was the example for that. And a lot of people deserve credit for that. A lot of people in this room, in my judgment, it was the incredible airmen, NCOs, and senior NCOs that deserve the most credit. One of the LRS alumni in this room, he might have left because he's had a big day himself, Colonel Mark Scott, reflecting on his time, once told me, Chuck, I think you could put pretty much any halfway decent officer over there and things will go pretty well. No disrespect, Rona, that applies to me as well. But he's right. He's absolutely right. And it's because of the incredible, selfless, resilient NCOs, senior NCOs that we have had over the years. And once again, the more I think about it, Jim was the one that I think kind of started that in a lot of ways. And it's been emulated over the years by terrific enlisted leaders. I'm going to leave out some folks, but by the name of Burnett and Oversby and Purdue, both of them, and Long and Wooten, and it goes on and on. And this is another big statement, whether you knew it or not, sir. I think the incredible turnaround that you and Chief Miller and others in maintenance led, you were following that same playbook of finding ownership of something that the Guard could do. So I want to give you a little bit of credit for I think in some ways starting that in our wing. So yes, folks, mission first, people always bigger is a great description of Chief Schrader. It's a great description of his approach, his legacy really. From ensuring exceptional support to continuous operations overseas, to domestic operations, to a pandemic, to more nuclear exercises than any one of us could count. Your ability to partner with others and always care for Guard airmen is exceptional. You've never wavered. You don't waver in your faith, you don't waver in your convictions, and you certainly have never wavered in your character. When we needed advice, it was on point and unvarnished. And I don't know what else you could ask for from a chief. So, in closing, Jim, it has been an amazing honor to serve with you in our wing, in our awesome logistics readiness squadron, the last few years in the care of our mission support group. I thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be up here with you on this stage. I am thankful that you don't have to do that tiring daily drive from the beautiful woods of North Idaho. But if you ever miss us, please know, we'll always be happy by your presence if you decide to do it. So I wish you, your family, especially you and Jill, health and happiness in the future. Good luck, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Colonel Riley, and I concur with everything you said about LRS. Chief Schrader, you're joining the Colonel on stage. Please rise for the presentation of the Air Force Meritorious Service Medal. Attention to orders. This is to certify that the Meritorious Service Medal, 1st Oak Cluster, has been awarded to Chief Master Sergeant Jimmy Schrader for meritorious service, 14 April 2013 to 16 January 2023. Chief Master Sergeant Jimmy Schrader distinguished himself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States while assigned to the 141st Logistics Readiness Squadron. During this period, Chief Schrader's mission first, people always bigger, improved the morale of 78 airmen answering the state's call to battle wildfires, combat civil unrest, support to food banks, COVID testing sites, and response to civil disturbances. His leadership contributions were instrumental in providing critical mentorship to more than 57 airmen, deploying to 11 combatant commanders, areas of responsibility, supporting operations Enduring Freedom, Iraqi Freedom, Freedom Sentinel, Joint Task Force Horn of Africa, Atlantic Resolve, Inherent Resolve, Allies Welcome, and Resolute Support Mission in Afghanistan. Additionally, Chief Schrader was vital in preparing the squadron for claiming the 2014 and 2016 National Guard Bureau Logistics Effectiveness Dedallion Awards, in addition to the 2016 Washington State Outstanding Unit of the Year Award. His laser focus and foresight was leveraged during the 2014, 2018, and 2022 Air Mobility Command Inspector General Unit Effectiveness Inspections, and the Total Force Association with our 92nd partners for mission success was noted as a strong partnership. Finally, Chief Schrader effectively supervised the joint refueling, maintenance, flight repair of the mission-critical fuel dispensing vehicle fleet worth $4.5 million. His efforts guaranteed a no-fail 24/7 mission, a Total Force Association of the North American Aerospace Defense Command Alert Mission with 115 scrambled launches and 3.8 million pounds of fuel offloaded to 223 receivers. The singular distinctive accomplishments of Chief Schrader culminate a distinguished career in the service of his country and reflect great credit upon himself, United States Air Force. Given under my hand, 16 January 2023, Colonel Charles Riley, Commander, 141st Mission Support Group. Chief Schrader has also been awarded the Washington State Meritorious Service Medal, which reads the same. We will now publish the retirement order.
Publish the order.
Attention to orders. Reserve order number EK005323, dated 11 July 2022. Chief Master Sergeant Jimmy Dwayne Schrader Jr., Fairchild Air Force Base, Washington, effective 16 January 2023, is relieved from current assignment, assigned to the Retired Reserve Section, and placed on the United States Air Force retired list in the grade of E9, Chief Master Sergeant, by order of the Secretary of the Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, Chief Schrader will be presented with certificate of retirement from the Director of the Air National Guard and the Chief of Staff of the United States Air Force. It reads, "To all who shall see these presents, greeting. This is to certify that Chief Master Sergeant Jimmy D. Schrader, having served faithfully and honorably, has returned from the United States Air Force on the retired from the United States Air Force on the 16th day of January of the year 2023. Signed, Lieutenant General Michael A. Lowe, Director of the Air National Guard, and General Charles Q. Brown, U.S. Air Force Chief of Staff." Chief Schrader, we are pleased to present you with the Presidential Certificate of Appreciation for Service in the Armed Forces of the United States. It reads, "Dear Jim, thank you for your service in the United States Armed Forces. I'm proud to have served as your Commander-in-Chief, and I am pleased to join your family, friends, and colleagues in recognizing your career accomplishments. Throughout history, the dedicated men and women of our military have protected our citizens and preserved the ideals that make our country strong. Their courage and sacrifice have inspired countless people and have helped shape America's character. On behalf of a grateful nation, I thank you for your contributions to our security and the cause of peace and freedom. Your service, patriotism, and selfless devotion have helped advance the universal hope of liberty at home and around the world. Laura and I send our best wishes for health and happiness in this years ahead. May God bless you, and may God continue to bless America. Sincerely, George W. Bush." Senior Airman Aaliyah Wilson and Technical Sergeant Emily Hansen will now honor Chief Schrader with the American flag holding ceremony. For more than 200 years, the American flag has been the symbol of our nation's unity, as well as a source of pride and inspiration for millions of citizens. Born on June 14, 1977, the Second Continental Congress determined that the flag of the United States be 13 stripes, alternating between 7 red and 6 white, and that the union of 13 stars, white and blue field representing a new constellation. Between 1977 and 1960, the shape and design of the flag evolved into the flag presented before you today. The 13 horizontal stripes represent the original 13 colonies, while the stars represent the 50 states of the Union. The colors of the flag are symbolic as well. Red symbolizes the hardiness and valor. White signifies purity and innocence. The blue represents vigilance, perseverance, and justice. Traditionally a symbol of liberty, the American flag has carried the message of freedom and inspired Americans both home and abroad. In 1814, Francis Scott Key was so moved at seeing the stars and stripes waving after the British shelling of Baltimore's first Fort McHenry that he wrote the words to the Star-Spangled Banner. In 1892, the flag inspired Francis Bellamy to write the Pledge of Allegiance, our most famous flag salute and patriotic oath. In 1969, the American flag was flown in space when Neil Armstrong planted it on the surface of the moon. Today, our flag flies on the constellations of the Air Force satellites that circle our globe and on the fin flash of our aircraft in harm's way in every corner of the world. Indeed, it flies in the heart of every airman who serve our great nation. The sun never sets on the U.S. Air Force nor the flag we so proudly cherish. Since 1976, no generation of Americans has been spared the responsibility of defending freedom. Today's airmen remain committed to preserving the freedom that others won for us for generations to come. By displaying the flag and giving it a distinctive fold, we show respect to the flag and express our gratitude to those individuals who fought and continue to fight for our freedom at home and abroad. Since the dawn of the 20th century, airmen have proudly flown the flag in every major conflict on land and skies around the world. It is their responsibility, our responsibility, to continue to protect and preserve the rights, privileges, and freedoms that we as Americans enjoy today. The United States flag represents who we are. It stands for the freedom we all share and the pride and patriotism we feel for our country. We cherish its legacy as a beacon of hope to one and all. Long may it live, long may it wave. Will Chief Schrader's wife Jill please come forward? Chief's wife Jill has received a certificate of appreciation from the United States Air Force. It reads, in grateful appreciation, the United States Air Force presents this certificate of recognition to Jill Denise Schrader for the commitment and numerous contributions that made positive impact to the nation's defense. Thank you for your support, which gave strength and purpose to your spouse's service. Signed, Lieutenant General Michael A. Lowe, Director of the Air National Guard, and Charles Q. Brown, U.S. Air Force Chief of Staff.
Before you put that on, you're supposed to pound it in, Joe.
Thank you, Jill. Jill now, during Chief Schrader with his retirement. Chief Schrader's children, Brittany, Maggie, and Tech Sergeant Jacob Schrader, will now present him with the shadow box to represent his distinguished career. The military shadow box is one of the most highly valued components of a service member's retirement ceremony. According to some accounts, the history of the military shadow box stems from the ancient naval tradition that is still practiced today by all military services. Historically, when a sailor would join a ship's crew, he would join that ship for the entire career. During the sailor's voyages to ports of call around the world, he would collect many trinkets, souvenirs, and reminders of his travels. Naturally, space aboard ships was at a premium, so these items tended to be small. When a sailor retired and was departing the ship for the last time, it was considered bad luck for the sailor's shadow to touch the land before he or she does. Thus, the sailor's shipmates construct a sturdy box, handcrafted of the finest materials, in which to display mementos of the sailor's accomplishments. The box would hold all of the possessions that had been collected during those many voyages and would simultaneously symbolize the sailor's career and time aboard ship, symbolically creating a shadow of the sailor. The box safely contained the sailor's shadow until he or she was safely ashore, at which time the shadow box would be given to the sailor in a presentation ceremony. The shadow box serves not only as a reminder of achievements and accomplishments, but also a summation, a culmination of a career. The shadow box should enable a stranger glancing at its contents to gain a substantial understanding of the owner's past and achievements. Thank you, Brittany, Maggie, and Sergeant Schrader. Chief Master Sergeant Chuck Oversby will now present Chief Schrader with a gift from the men and women of the 141st LRS to express appreciation for his unwavering dedication.
All right, so the men and women of 141st LRS wanted to convey their personal thanks and give you something to remember us by on what I'm sure will be lots of fancy trips to come. And I get to play the chief card here in just a second. Oh. I get to buy you your first beer. Awesome.
not grooming. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Overspeed. At this time, I would like to open the floor to any additional gifts or presentations. Presenters, please use the microphone to be heard on the live stream.
I'm going first. Hey, before we present this, I want to just say a few things about Chief Schrader, my brother Jim. Heard a lot of cool things today about Jim that I've never known. Like, his first duty assignment was with a combat comm. Man, I didn't know you had comm in your heart. That just made me melt. But, you know, when we were kids, I was still in high school when you left, and I saw some pictures of him painting trucks. I think he told us it was top secret. You know, like, what's top secret about painting trucks is especially comm trucks, right? But it must have been what was inside. Because, you know, comm people, we do all kinds of top secret stuff. Some other things that I heard about Jim that I just want to share with all of you is over the years, as Colonel Riley kind of talked about Jim, Master Sergeant Schrader moving into fuels management and then kind of making those progressions from Master Sergeant to Senior Master Sergeant and then to Chief Master Sergeant. Over the years, my brother and I have had a lot of conversations. And one of the things that we talk about a lot is leadership. And, you know, Jim is so humble and such a humble leader that, you know, he was always kind of unsure of himself. And I always encouraged him and just, as a younger brother, it just kind of felt like the roles have been reversed. But, you know, he also needs encouragement. And you guys encouraged him. And Colonel Riley, I know you encouraged him. Colonel Scott, Colonel Yellen, and Colonel Ritchie, even today, you guys continue to encourage and build and his fellow chiefs. And, you know, Jim was always so humble about his abilities to be a leader. But I know my brother is a leader. He is a leader not only of military, but in our family. He always has been a leader in our family. He's been a role model for me since I was just knee-high to a grasshopper, as we say in Montana. And I always wanted to follow in his footsteps. One of the reasons I joined the military, I knew I was going to join the Air Force, was because my brother led the way in 1983. And so, Jim, I just want to say thank you for your leadership for not only our family, but for the 141st. In fact, the last time I was here was when we promoted you to chief, so this is such a fantastic opportunity for us to recognize you again on your retirement. I'm so proud of you. I know Kitty has been proud of you, and our sister Carla, although she's no longer with us, I know she was so proud of you and your services as well. So, Kitty, I want you to come up here. Yes, you got to come up and help me present this to Jim. Thanks. So, I hope you have a coin or two to put on this thing to you. So we wanted to get you something where you could display your coins, because in the cabin out on Pinecone Road, there is no coins on the wall or anything, so thought we'd get you a coin presentation.
That's awesome. Thank you. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And on the bottom, it just has Chief Master Sergeant Jim Schrader, USAF, October 83 to July of 92, and then Washington International Guard, November 96 to January 2023. So, you bet. Here, let's get it. Military guy.
Good to do that.
Oh, it is my teeth. It is my teeth.
Every major needs a good team.
What did he say? You're lucky I didn't hear that.
All right, the big day's here. I debated doing this one-on-one Chief and I go way back to Senior Airman Yellen and Tech Sergeant Schrader, hanging out with vehicle maintenance. But I felt like this was an important thing to represent every life that you have touched in the Washington Air National Guard in your career. From a pretty dumb senior airman that had no idea where she was going in life, or how to take care of people, or what I should be doing to focus on the mission. You were one of the first people that stepped in and helped mentor and guide me in that and figure out what I needed to be doing, not only for my career, but also to take care of myself. Over the years, you helped me as soon as I stepped in as a brand new second lieutenant, and you have helped mold me into the officer that I am today. And I know you have done that for every other airman and officer that has come across your path. I won't echo all the millions of things that Colonel Riley and Major Schrader have said, because I couldn't do it justice. But it's just a small representation of all the lives that you've touched. When I went through what I would consider one of the worst times in my life, you were there for me, making sure that I was taken care of. And I will never forget Colonel Schweitzer asking you, who's Shannon's wingman? Who's taking care of her? Who makes sure that she's okay? And you said, well, I think it's her boyfriend. And he said, no, it's you. So I appreciate everything that you've done for me from the time I was a young airman all the way up. In honor of all the vehicle maintainers that took me under their wing and taught me that break time is serious. And you get serious about break time, and you come together and you spend time together and you joke and you laugh and you play cribbage. So, first of all,
I'm with you there.
I've tried to make it a habit of all of you that helped shape me from vehicle maintenance to find some kind of cribbage board that represented how you helped me grow. So first of all, a pack of 141st LRS playing cards. And to go along with it, because everybody needs their own cribbage board.
Oh, wow. Mill's coming, yeah. Right. Okay, hey, we got, from the Eastern Washington Chiefs Group, Jimmy, we got a nice bottle of World over for you and Jill, all right? Make the call when this gets over on you. Also, the rule now, like, you take this from me, because last time I did this, I walked off the stage and had to throw it back to the guys. So, okay, and obviously, you're a great chief, you've done a wonderful job for our association over the years. You've been very active with us. You've always brought up good concerns and questions for us to deal with, and also about customer service a lot, right? There was a lot of discussion for that, so thank you for that. To help Colonel Riley understand why you were so good about going into the fuel flight and just your leadership style, how good you were. There's a piece of history here that's missing, a real important piece of history, which is the snow team, right? And as a young staff sergeant, and I don't know, you're probably a staff sergeant too when we met, this is back in the early 90s, the rule around here was aircraft, you know, I was aircraft maintainer, we were only allowed to drive the damn things for you guys, right? It's like we didn't touch those things. You guys took pride of those vehicles, blowers and snow plows like we did with the aircraft. So it was fun, right? Because they could drive the snow blow over the place, but when it broke, like there was no messing around. You got that thing driven off the flight line into the maintenance. I can't call it a hangar, right? Shop. Your shop, right? So, okay. So anyways, but when you went in there, right, there was quite the mix of guys in there, and some people may know this guy or not, Ernie Schmidt. You ever remember that man? Okay. So he was a wrecker. He was a good mechanic, but he was a wrecker, right? And that's why Jimmy is so good, right? Because you had to deal with burning. So, okay, anyways, thank you for your service and been great. Thank you. Take it from me.
How you doing, Jim? First off, I just want to start off by obviously thanking you. You've always been a mentor, a friend to me. You helped me. You know, we've had lots of discussions about leadership and ways forward and stuff like that. And kind of caveating what Colonel Riley said, I know your affinity for Lederhosen and beer. So from the MSG, we would like to give you the coveted MSG coasters with all the squadrons on it. And this way, Joe won't get upset with you when you're drinking out of your steins and moving the furniture.
All right, sounds good. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Chief Master Sergeant Jimmy D. Schrader, United States Air Force retired. Chief Schrader, the floor is yours.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I really appreciate you all being here. I know it's been a long, long day of ceremonies, and it just means a lot that you decided to come out for this one, too. Colonel McGovern, Colonel Connell, Chief Bull, Colonel McNamara, Colonel Scott, he had to leave for taking care of some family. It was here for his promotion. Lieutenant Colonel Burrell, no, okay. Chief Boyd, I saw Chief Boyd here, so thanks for coming. Chief Dower, saw Chief Dower over there, so good to see some Sergeant Bowman, see some old retirees coming in and checking out the ceremony. Anyways, it's an honor to have you all here. Lieutenant Colonel Yellen, thank you for your beautiful rendition of our national anthem, and Colonel Scott for his heartfelt, inspiring words. Congratulations are in order for our brand new promotees to Colonel. So congratulations, guys. It's good to see you. It was good on you. Just going to start out with all credit for my career that I never expected. Goes out to my Lord and Savior Jesus. Without my faith in Jesus and following his lead throughout my career, there's no doubt in my mind I would be standing here today, privileged to retire as a Chief Master Sergeant. So you heard my son give a little bit of an account of my career. Yeah, it was 12 October 1983. I was a young man fresh out of high school from White Sulphur Springs, Montana. But I was also a Schrader University undergrad. At Schrader University, that's where all Schraders go to learn how to be a Schrader. But you never really graduate from that. So, my mother drove me to Helena, put me on a plane for my first plane ride to an adventure that I had no idea that awaited me. I'm blessed beyond words with the career that followed that momentous day. You know, it's been a long career when most of the Air Force bases I was stationed at are no longer active. A lot has happened in 35 years of service. Early in my career, the Cold War was going strong. President Reagan was my commander-in-chief. The Berlin Wall would soon fall, and East and West Germany reunited. I watched in shock as the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded during takeoff. I witnessed fully loaded F-15s leaving Tyndall Air Force Base, headed for what would soon be Desert Storm. I then traveled to near the end of the Earth for a year-long remote assignment on a 2x4 mile long island in the Aleutians. Like Jake said earlier, we didn't have FaceTime or Skype back then, so you know, when I stepped off the plane, Brittany and Maggie hid behind their mom, they didn't remember me. And so it wasn't quite the homecomings I was expecting. But just rely on Skype and FaceTime and all that we have now, you don't know how good you have it. Upon my return to civilization after that year at Shemia, I had the pleasure of becoming a veteran of lake effect snow in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. It's like nothing I've ever experienced before, meaning a lot all at once. After a long winter as a Uper, the Air Force informed me that my career field was looking in, and I would either have to cross-train, separate with severance, or be sent on a remote assignment to Korea. Well, having just returned from a remote and not interested in any available career fields, I chose to cross-train, or I chose to separate, and after 9 years in the Air Force, I started my civilian career. During the time between my Air Force and Air National Guard career, I really missed the quality of people and the family atmosphere that I had in the Air Force. I didn't know much about the Air National Guard at the time, but after 4 years, I contacted a recruiter and joined the 141st to finish out my military career as a traditional guardsman. The family that I found in the Air National Guard was way more than I imagined. Nothing against my active duty family. It's just that the Guard worked together for most, if not all, of our careers. And so we have a lot more time to grow as a family. Another 4 years as a traditional guardsman, and I began a full-time career as a technician. The events of 9/11 soon followed, changing our world as we knew it. Travel opportunities for the military increased dramatically after that, and we soon felt what it was like to live in 120-degree temperatures. The years that followed brought many deployments and domestic responses in addition to our federal mission. We responded to floods, a tragic landslide, hurricane recovery, border patrol support, wildfire, extreme snow accumulation, civil unrest, and a multi-year pandemic. Throw in learning how to be in a classic association with our active duty partners, and what we have accomplished is nothing less than remarkable. Through it all, we've responded with a get-it-done attitude, with resolve and professionalism. And I couldn't be more proud to have served with every one of you. To my LRS family, one of the best things about the military, and especially in the Air National Guard, is the opportunities that come from it that might not have come otherwise. I've earned 4 of the 7 logistics AFSCs, and I enjoyed every second of being part of your teams. I can finally say with certainty that I'll have no more technical schools or CDCs to do. Growing up and serving in vehicle maintenance for the vast majority of my career gives a special place in my heart. And I know they're all getting choked up to hear me say that right now, but you guys rock. I see some old VN retirees out there too, so it's good to see you guys. But honestly, I'm so proud of serving with each of you. You've all mentored me from below and above, and allowed me to lead with confidence. You serve with professionalism and resolve, and I thank you all for making my life as your senior enlisted leader easy, and I wish you all the best in your careers. My former LRS commanders and chiefs, Colonel Dixon, a lot of these aren't here right now, but Colonel Dixon, Colonel Riley, Colonel Scott, Lieutenant Colonel Ritchie, Lieutenant Colonel Yellen, Chief Sini, and Chief Becker. Thank you for your confidence in me and for your leadership in LRS and beyond. Your mentorship and encouragement molded me as well as others into the leaders that LRS and the wing enjoys today and will continue to enjoy into the future. To our 92nd LRS partners, thanks for coming over there, guys. I appreciate that. Your willingness to learn about how the Guard is different in some ways while the same in others allowed us to build a relationship that built an active Guard partnership like none other that the Air Force or Air National Guard has known. We're both better units because of it, and I'm proud of our partnership and we'll miss our friendship. I'm confident that the solid foundation we laid will keep that relationship strong well into the future. Thank you. To our chiefs, both active and Guard, I feel blessed to be considered among the great leaders that you are. The way we support and respect each other makes it easy to pick up the phone with confidence and work out issues to threaten to harm mission, health, and morale. And in the end, we still like and respect each other. I see many future chiefs and leaders throughout the wing as we continue to develop that bench. Keep up that good work, the future looks bright. I'd like to extend a special thank you to my mother and grandmother. They're listening online right now. You both, along with my dad and grandfather, instilled in me the Air Force core values of integrity, service, and excellence before I even knew what they were. I don't know if I ever told you, but sorry for not communicating for my first 6 months in Germany. I remember thinking that no news is good news, but all that changed when I was called to the commander's office to be told I needed to write your mother. Love you, Mom. To my children, Brittany, Maggie, and Jacob, thank you for your love and support throughout my career, even when we didn't live in the same household. I wish life circumstances could have allowed us to be with each other more when you all were growing up. I'm sorry for the time I missed in your lives. I love you guys more than you know. And Jacob, I'm also especially proud of you of the service in the Army and the Air National Guard. My brother, Terry, my sisters, Katie and Carla, you guys are the best siblings ever. Thank you guys. We fought like hell at times when we were growing up, and then I'm so grateful for how we've grown into enjoying each other's company. I wish Carla were here today, but I'm confident that she's with us in spirit. I'm proud of the lives we've made for ourselves, and Major, I'm also especially proud of your service in the United States Air Force. To my wonderful, beautiful wife, Jill. You're amazing. God brought us together at just the right time when we needed each other the most. Thank you for your love and the support you've provided for me over the past 22 plus years. There's no way that I'd be standing here as a Chief Master Sergeant without you. You complete me in ways that I didn't know needed completing until I met you. I'm so thankful for you, and I'm looking forward to us being able to spend more time together. I love you. To the rest of my family, I thank you all for the love and support you provided for me and for Jill throughout our career, especially when I was away from home on deployment or on temporary duty. In many ways, this career is a result of everyone's sacrifices more than mine. You're an amazing family, and we feel so blessed to call you ours. Thank you, love you all. Before I close, I wanted to just thank everyone that had a part in putting this ceremony together. It takes a lot of work and coordination, as many in this room know. Special thanks to Chief Burnett, Senior Long, Sergeant Farmer, Sergeant Colleton, the Honor Guards, Aaron Wilson and Sergeant Hanson, Arlene, Tisha, and Bree. They might be out in the other room there. For their work, the coordination and setting up the refreshments. Public Affairs Office is always awesome, and you guys do a great job. Thank you. For the setup and cleanup teams, I apologize if I missed anyone, but please know that you're all appreciated, and I thank you. So lastly, I'd like to leave you with this final thought. It came across as wise saying from an ancient Chinese philosopher named Lao Tzu. He said, watch your thoughts, they lead to attitudes. Watch your attitudes, they lead to words. Watch your words, they lead to actions. Watch your actions, they lead to habits. And watch your habits, they form your character. And watch your character, it determines your destiny. I like that this adage stresses that we watch ourselves and not others. Don't worry about the good deals that you perceive others might be getting, and concentrate on building your own good attitudes, words, actions, habits, and character, and good will come your way. A great thought to remember that will serve you well in your careers. I'm already missing everyone. I've been away for a couple weeks now. I'm certainly going to miss our mission. Not sure what's in store for me in retirement yet. I'm just kind of taking a little breather right now, and then I'll figure that out, but I'll make sure I stop in for an occasional visit. I will tell you that I'm already enjoying not making the drive from North Idaho over here to Fairchild every day, though. So thank you for everything. Thanks for the memories. I wish you all the best, and God bless.
Thank you, Chief. The men and women of the Air National Guard and the United States Air Force are proud to have served with you. Your knowledge, wisdom, dedication, and friendship will be sorely missed by all. Wish you well as you begin this next chapter in your life. Colonel Riley would like to ask everyone to join him in congratulating Chief Schrader and his family for their many contributions to the defense of our country through a receiving line and light refreshments in the fireside room. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the departure of the official party.